Oh my god, it's so loud.
Yeah, that is really loud. That's loud on mine, and so.
It's because, yeah, it's coming through yours and...
Oh, was it? Oh, I'm sorry.
We could, yeah.
Alright. Okay, well, let's just begin the show because it's going to drag on for all night if we don't.
Perfect timing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Just in time. It took us this long to figure out technology, Al, so...
It's because Al wasn't here.
Yep.
Yeah, probably. You made it just in time. Just in time for the second age of Middle Earth. Of the lords and elves and dwarves and men. They're given rings of power. Unbeknownst to them, the Dark Lord Sauron forges the one ring in Mount Doom more powerful than all of them in an attempt to rule Middle Earth. Men and elves form an alliance to battle Sauron's forces, orcs and whatever, in a place called Mordor. Some guy, man, human, from a place called Gondor, cuts off Sauron's finger with the ring and takes it for himself. This guy's name is Isildur. He can't handle the evil power of the ring and becomes crazy and eventually gets killed by evil things called orcs. The ring is lost for 2,500 years till someone or somehow it was found by a hobbit named Smeagol, also known as Gollum, and he also went cray-cray. This is Smeagol before the ring, and this is Smeagol after the ring. But that's like a whole nother story that we don't have time for, and I'm not fucking doing those. I'm not doing the fucking hobbits. It's not gonna happen. Anyways, another hobbit named Bilbo. Whoops, backwards. Bilbo Baggins finds the ring and he makes him disappear and shit, and he lives longer because the ring has like power and whatnot. And it's another fucking movie we're not gonna do. Okay, we're not gonna do it. All right. Years pass. This took like 6 years to do these.
I'm pretty sure the first one came out in COVID.
Yeah, this whole thing was started in
right.
COVID, and it started with one presentation, and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's do all three of them," and I was like, "Sure, why not?" Anyways, so we're not doing the hobbits. Eventually, orcs, these fucking ugly motherfuckers, they're bad guys, and they capture Gollum, and they brought him to Lord Sauron. He's now a creepy eye thing, not a real evil person anymore, because he died thousands of years ago. He's just a creepy eye, like this creepy eye guy. And they tortured Gollum, put a nice little fucking swastika on his forehead, and then Gollum somehow revealed that Bilbo had the ring, and he'd taken it back to Hobbitland, which is known as the Shire. So at the Shire, it's Bilbo's 111th birthday party, and he uses the ring to disappear one last time in front of all of his partygoer friends because he's an asshole. Anyway, Bilbo is tired of running and hiding with the ring, so he decides to grow old like a normal hobbit, and he goes to Florida of Middle Earth, Rivendell. It's a beautiful elvish place with elvish bitches. This will be Bilbo. He gives the ring to his nephew Frodo so that he can finally be old. This is Frodo saying. But Gandalf the Grey Area shows up. He's a wizard. He figured out that Bilbo had some sort of dark magic object because he disappeared in front of all his friends like an asshole. And Gandalf the Grey Area was like, what the fuck, man? And we got to destroy this ring because we could all die. He used magic on the ring and saw that Sauron knew where it was, and he was sending people to come get it. Dead people, like the old evil people that died. They're on horses and shit. These guys. Scary Knight Rider guys. Mr. Grey Area tells Frodo that he must leave town immediately for his safety and to meet him at the Pioneer Pub in the town of Bree in a few days. Frodo had never left the Shire before. Mr. Grey Area allowed Samwise Joey to go with him. Because he was eavesdropping on the conversation. I forgot about that. He was like listening to them in the bushes and whatnot. So he made them go with him. As they left the Shire, they bumped into Mary Brosmas And Pep and Goose, they're also hobbits. They were stealing from Grumpy Graham's cabbage patch. So Gandalf, the gray area, was like, you sons of bitches. Now you gotta all go together because you know too much about this ring. And Gandalf was like, I gotta meet a friend though. I can't go with you. You guys are on your own. And I gotta go meet a friend because you don't know him. He's another wizard guy. And a white wizard. Not a gray wizard. Like Gandalf. So the hobbits are like, what the fuck? You're just leaving us? We gotta go, like, to this place on our own? And then Gandalf got into his trusty cow, Betsy. And he rode off to go find the other white wizard. Gandalf was heading to a place called Isengard. It's also this creepy tower thing. Mysteriously looks like Sauron's eye. But to meet his friend and his mentor wizard, Lord Sarumander. I'm not going to sing the song? There's a song? What song? Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah,
There's a song?
He's a white wizard. I don't know what Nicole's talking about. Mr. Grayer was late. Of course. Gandalf finally showed up and asked Sarumander for advice about the ring and his vision of Lord Sauron. They got quite comfortable with each other. Sarumander turned out to know too much. And Gandalf realized that Sarumander was on Sauron's side and aiding his evil return to power, or wanted the ring for himself. Sarumander locked Gandalf inside of his tower. And a fight ensued. That's a nice spear staff, Chris. I gotta
That
admit,
is a nice spear staff.
that's gotta be the best spear staff we've ever seen.
Also, Xander is jumping literally on the top of the lions there.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of lion jumping. Good photos. Good photos. All right. So the awkward wizard fight ensues. Homemade bow and some epic beer staffage. Gandalf loses and gets banished to the tower top. Up there, where the arrow's pointing, in case you don't know what a fucking tower top is. Meanwhile, back with the hobbits is they all get chased by the Dark Riders, these Nazgul guys, all over the place. Look at Bros falling in the sand. What an idiot. They somehow escape the Dark Riders by literally jumping on a ferry at the last fucking minute. Andrew was hungover because he was hungover. There was fish smells on the boat. I don't know if you guys remember that. But anyways, there was only walk-ons available on the ferry. The horse deck was full, so the Night Riders had to wait back, so they managed to escape across the water. Eventually, they made it to the Pie, our famous stomping grounds, and the hobbits found Gandalf did not make it there. They did not meet him, so they just fucking drank and waited. Bros had a few too many, and popcorn Jenga ensued. Oh, I just noticed the cigarette there. That's a nice touch. Frodo falls down because he's a clumsy idiot. And somehow the ring floats up in the air and magically lands on his finger. And it makes him disappear. So by using this ring, Frodo Sang did not realize that Sauron's creepy eye thing could now see where he was. And so the Nazgul were sent to go find them again. There was a creepy guy watching him in the corner the whole time, acting like a weird pedophile. Turned out to be a ranger named Strider, who helped hide them from the Night Riders. He's got the creepy eye. He began to take the hobbits to Rivendell, the Florida of Middle-earth, again. The hobbits had no other option but to go with them. But they got ambushed on the way by the Nazgul. Frodo Sang got stabbed, and he was dying from evil powers. And somehow they managed to fight them off and escape. However, out of nowhere, Arwen, a female elf, showed up to help them, and it seems to have some weird intimate relationship with Strider we don't fucking know about. Anyways, Arwen picks up Frodo and tries to save him, rides him to Rivendell, which is protected by some ancient magic, and prevents the bad guys from getting in. They rode on a horse, by the way, that's a horse. And that's them riding on it. The Nazgul get washed away by a magical river flood while chasing them. Flood. Yes, okay, we get it. Arwen and Frodo escaping. They make it to Rivendell, the nice, beautiful Florida of Middle Earth, and kind of stupidly, everyone's fucking already there. Like, everyone. Like, Gandalf is there. He escaped, and we don't even know how. And so is Mary Bros and Pep and Goose and Samwise Joey, Frodo Sang. They're all there. Oh yeah, I guess I put names on them. Strider 1212. That's right. And Frodo is all healed with elf magic and stuff, and the head elf guy Elrond saved him basically with magic, and fucking Gandalf made these stupid strong Caesars. They got everybody shit faced by 5 o'clock.
He's pretty much magic, you know.
Yeah.
He is. This is Elrond, which is kind of weird, but we needed to throw Damo in there somewhere. He's the leader of all the elf guys. He's also Arwen's dad. Elrond and Gandalf call upon the leaders and warriors of Middle-earth to decide what they should do with this fucking ring. The most important ones to the story are Elrond, the leader of the elves, Legolas, the elf warrior, and Aragorn, aka Strider. He's also like some man elf crossbreed, also some true king that we fucking find about later. Boromir Beck. He's kind of like a prince of Gondor. He's, figuring that shit out.
So young.
Gimli's a dwarf warrior. During this meeting that they all have together, Boromir is like, I want to use the ring for myself. We can finally, rid the world of bad people. And anyways, they're all like, man is too weak. It's too hard to control its power, and they usually fall victim to its power, so they can't give the ring to man. The rest of them basically decide it's too dangerous and powerful, and they have to destroy the ring inside of Mount Doom to kill Lord Sauron. It's really far, and they all form this fellowship and depart together with the hobbitses on a journey to destroy the ring. This is the Fellowship of the Ring, right here. And Frodo Sang has the ring on his chest, where he keeps it tied to him dearly.
Nice.
Except Elrond, he doesn't go. And Arwen. They stay behind to do elf things. Gandalf leads the way. They climb and try to go over the snowy mountains. All the mountains. But Saurmander, from his tower, uses all this magic spells to cast storms and weather and shit, so they couldn't climb over the mountains. So instead, they all decide to go under the mountain through the dwarf mines of Moria. Gandalf leads the way. Let's boink.
I'm too. Chris, how old are you in that picture?
Oh God! That shirt was from a pogo stick fundraiser for the food bank. So you had to bounce on the pogo stick, and you raised a penny for every time you boink.
Oh boy.
So, anyways, I got on the pogo stick, and I pogo sticked for like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. And I managed to raise like, I don't know, $3.
Oh, man. Epic shirt. Let's boink. All right. The entrance was really hard to find for Gandalf the Grey area. He fell down a few times. He had a few too much Kraken that day. Eventually, they find the entrance, and Gandalf casts a spell to open the door. Fancy. They go inside. Legolas notices a strange creature following them inside. Oh, man, even I don't even remember what's coming. When they get to Moria, they find all the dwarves inside were already killed. This upset Gimli Rintoul as the lone dwarf in the group. Someone accidentally drops something, which makes a super fucking loud noise, and goblins come from the depths of the mountain and attack them with trolls. Goblins. So, Fellowship grabs their weapons, and a fight ensues. There's the famous photo of Andrew in the bandolier. Frodo sang. All of a sudden, a Balrog, which is kind of like a fire demon, scares off all the goblins and chases the Fellowship. They all run across this tiny-ass bridge to get away. Gandalf stays behind and fights the Balrog with magic and uses the famous line, "You shall not pass." The bridge breaks, and Gandalf and the Balrog basically appear to fall to their deaths. Frodo is devastated. Anyways, the Gandalfless Fellowship escape out of the mountain after the Balrog falls, and they're greeted by the woodland elves. They take the group hostage and bring them to their leader, Lady of the Wood, Polydriel. There we go, Polydriel. That's hard to say. She learns about their quest and thinks about using the ring for herself for its power. But then she realized how evil the ring was as well, and she allowed the Fellowship to continue on their journey. She gives them boats and shit to float down the river towards Mordor and Mount Doom. And then Boromir tried to take the ring from Frodo several times during this journey. Naughty, naughty. We switch back to Isengard, where Saurmander has built up a giant orc army, which is basically resurrected warriors of elves and goblins or whatever. And he sent them after the Fellowship to try to get the ring back for himself. The orcs find them, and another battle ensues. Fantastic. They get separated, leaving Boromir and Frodo Sang fighting alone in the woods. Boromir finally realizes how evil the ring was and how hard it is to control the ring. He sees Frodo and sees how the ring makes Frodo and the people around him sick.
In your eyes, forsaken me. Forsaken me. In your eyes, forsaken.
Boromir Beck fights off the orcs so Frodo can escape. But Boromir ends up getting stabbed and died.
Oh no.
No.
The group was separated. Frodo Sang fled on a boat alone. He didn't want to find the group because he didn't want more people to die, and he didn't trust any of them not to try to take the ring for himself. However, Samwise Joey chased after and refused to let him continue by himself. Peppengoose and Meribros was captured by the orcs. Aragorn 1212 and Gimli Rintoul and Legolas, they stayed together and agreed to buy Frodo time and track down the orcs to save Peppengoose and Meribros. And this is the end of the first movie. And there's like 2 more books and movies. So, there we go. Does anyone need a break or anything, or shall we keep going?
I have a question.
Yes.
In the books, does the ring also ridiculously fly in the air and land on his finger?
I don't know. Xander, do you have an answer for that?
No, I don't think it does.
I think it does that ridiculous flying thing, but it finds its way on there by magic.
He doesn't put it on.
Yes, beer please.
It just ends up on his finger.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Huh.
I think it's like temptation, urge.
All right, I am getting a beer. Give me 2
So
seconds.
The ring is like crack. Once you put it on, then you're always just need to put it on again.
Yeah, you kind of feel like
You want the power, the addiction.
Yeah.
Crap. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 towers. Oh, hey, the music's not as loud this time.
I think you turn down the volume.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Anyways, we start off with Frodo Sang and Samwise Joey in the mountains trying to get to Mordor. They are being followed by a creature, Gollum. He tries to steal the ring back, but they fight him off and make him his bitch. Mr. Sang understands what the ring did to him, though, and he befriends him because he needs him to guide them to Mordor. Samwise Joey doesn't trust him. In the meantime, Lord Saruman has built up a giant orc army at Isengard. They have been killing, raping, and pillaging the villages of Rohan. This is Rohan, by the way. Riders of Rohan, they're basically like the royal guard of warriors of Rohan. They ride horses. They return to the capital of Rohan in Doris from fighting off the orcs. And the king's son who died in battle. I forgot the king's son died in battle. We learned that the King Theoden is all creepy looking, and he seems to be corrupt under some evil power and is not thinking straight.
What's this, Jeff?
Okay, it could be. We learned that the king is all creepy looking and seems to be corrupt. Wait, I just said that. He doesn't care that his son died, which is odd. The king's nephew and niece, Eomer Stanley and Eowyn Stanley, they are siblings, in case it's not obvious in this story. They beg the king to go to war and fight back for his son dying. And the king, he doesn't talk. He only whispers to his henchman, Katrina Wormtongue. It seems she is possibly controlling him or influencing his decisions. The king whispers shit into Wormtongue's ear, and then she banishes Eomer from Rohan. Eomer's like, what the fuck? Eomer is furious and storms off in an orc-killing rage with the riders of Rohan. Meanwhile, the orcs that have captured Merry Rops and Peppengoose had strict orders to return the hobbits to Saruman. The riders of Rohan come across the group in the night and attack them all and burn them all. Merry Bros and Peppengoose crawl and escape into the forest. Aragorn and Gimli Rintoul and Legolas, they had been tracking down those orcs holding Merry Bros and Peppengoose hostage for days. They bump into Eomer and the riders of Rohan. The riders of Rohan explain that they slaughtered and burned everyone in the group and left no survivors. Everyone assumes that the hobbits died too. But Merry Bros and Peppengoose escaped into the forest and get captured by a tree creature called an Ent. This dude. The Ent thinks that these Merry Bros and Peppengoose are orcs and decided to take them to a white wizard they met a few days prior to decide their fate. This white wizard turns out to be Gandalf. He's alive. And he's a white wizard now, not a gray area wizard. He explained how he battled and defeated the Balrog, which we didn't get to see in the first movie. Without hearing any sort of plan of what's to come, we just cut back to the others. Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas. So with Aragorn's tracking skills, Gimli, Rintoul, Legolas, and Aragorn track the hobbits from the depth pile of the orcs into the forest and get blinded by a white light. It's Gandalf the White. Gandalf explains that the hobbits left on another mission, and he needs Gimli, Aragorn, and Legolas to go out and to try to gather all men to prepare for war. Aragorn says, I guess, and yeah, whatever. So Gandalf, Gimli, and Legolas, and Aragorn ride to Rohan and try to convince the former allegiance of men to go to war against all the dark forces. The group quickly learns that the king is sick and Katrina Wormtongue is in charge. She demands they give up their weapons before seeing the king. Katrina Wormtongue whispers things in the king's ear and explains Gandalf the Grey Area is there to see him, even though they are standing right fucking in front of him. Gandalf knows the king is under control of some sort of magic and reveals he is now a powerful white wizard, not a gray area wizard, and uses magic to rid the evil spell from the king. Saruman's magic gets pushed out of King Theoden's body and sending Saruman flying back into his evil tower where he was controlling him from. The king seems to slowly snap out of it and look more like himself. Gandalf tells King Theoden what's been happening and begs him to send his people to join the fight versus Sauron. Instead, Theoden decides to take his people and to hide and defend themselves at Helm's Deep, which has never been defeated before. King Theoden's trusty steed. This is Helm's Deep. And then we cut back to the fucking hobbits. This likes to cut around all over the place, this movie. Bilbo Baggins is just chilling back in Rivendell, not giving a fuck about what's happening out there. We rarely see him. Well, the other hobbitses are trying to get to the gates of Mordor, where they see armies and armies gathering. Gollum convinces them to not go through the gate and to take the long way around. Samwise Joey does not trust Gollum and thinks he is leading them into a trap or is trying to get the ring back. Samwise Joey, Frodo, and Gollum, they see more bad guy armies and decide they must make like a tree and leave. While watching the armies of Mordor, they get ambushed by a group of men who are attacking the armies. They get captured and brought back to a cave. Faramir. He's Boromir's brother. Frodo pleads to Faramir and his men to let him go. But typical man, Faramir says no and decides to bring the ring back to his people and try to use it for its power. Then we cut to a random Aragorn dream or flashback. Wow, that's old. Elrond cuts into the middle of the fucking dream. And he's like, you're going to get old and fat, dude. But she's like an elf, and she'll stay young and be flexible forever. You need to let her go, man, and be with her own people. Let her go off to the Undying Lands with the elves. And then we flash back to fucking normal time again. He snaps out of it, and they're back escorting King Theoden's people to Helm's Deep. And they get attacked by orcs riding scary dogs sent by Sarumander. The gang fights them off so that the people can get to Helm's Deep safely. Eventually, they win the battle, but Aragorn falls off a cliff. He gets trapped attached to this dog-like thing and appears to fall to his death. Éowyn gets the rest of the people to Helm's Deep with their surviving warriors not far behind. We should probably cut to check with Mary Bros and Peppengoose again. They have been hanging out with this whole bunch of old fucking trees, trying to convince them to go to war. But nothing is really happening. So we go back to Rohan. This pointless cut. Aragorn is not dead, and he lands on the water and floats to the shore, where his horse Lucy saves him and picks him up and starts carrying him to Helm's Deep. On the way, they see a mass army approaching Helm's Deep. He rides quicker now and arrives at Helm's Deep and warns King Theoden. King Theoden is super cocky and believes they can't breach the walls. Even though there's this fucking hole thing that's basically like the hole in Death Star. The scared farmers and young children are forced to prepare for battle. Gimli, Aragorn, and Legolas basically think everyone is going to die. A bunch of Elrond's elf friends show up to help. Orcs arrive and the battle ensues. The orcs blow up the wall by using a bomb-type thing in this storm drain at the base of the wall. It explodes. They blow up the wall using the bomb. Weirdly similar. Yeah, like I said, the hole to the Death Star. I already said that. It's basically the same movie. They overrun. They're overrun by orcs and retreat. What? What's funny? All right. You're laughing over there by yourself. Basically, almost everyone dies except the main characters of the fucking movie. Of course, right? Just don't worry about the women and children and farmers. But let's go back to Mary Bros. We're fucking cutting around all over the place with the trees. The Ents finally decide, nope, they're not going to go to war after like half the fucking movie. And Peppengoose and Mary Bros ask them to be dropped off near Isengard anyways. The Ents show up, but they see that all the trees and forests have been cut down by Sarumander to build his armies. The trees get really pissed off and go, fuck it, let's go to war anyways. So they start fighting Saurmander at Isengard. Faramir brings Frodo, Samwise, and Gollum to Gondor territory. And they see that it's under attack by Mordor's armies already. Faramir brings them into the city, but it's under attack, and he realizes Nazgul are after the ring, and it's dangerous. Frodo gets lured in by the ring's powers and almost gives it up. Samwise Joey saves him at the last minute. And we cut back to fucking Helm's Deep again. Jesus Christ. Everyone is trapped inside Helm's Deep. Last hold up at the spot in the mountains. Aragorn is all crazy with his ideas. Like, let's party. No, they're like, let's all ride out one last time together and die with honor. Because they're just going to die anyway. They're totally outnumbered. But just at sunrise, at the top of this crazy-ass steep hill, like the steepest hill you could ever imagine, Gandalf arrives with help like he said he would. Gandalf leads him down this stupid, crazy-ass steep mountain and kill and scare off the remaining orc army and saves Helm's Deep. The Ents destroy Sauromander's army-building base, and Mary Bros passes out at the after-party. Frodo, Samwise, and Gollum continue their journey to Mordor to destroy the ring. And the remaining orcs at Helm's Deep run off scared into the woods or back to Mordor. The battle for Helm's Deep is over, and the battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
The third movie?
That's the second movie.
Good job, Joey.
Good job.
That's the end of the second movie. Now, Return of the King, the new part. Yay!
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Spotify
Oh, is that the song you were talking about?
Yeah, it was. That's the one Nicole was talking about.
Okay. I recognize that song, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
It's if they do Orlando Bloom in full legless costume, sing
Yeah.
along to that.
It's like actually a scene from the movie. They just repeated it.
To Isengard.
Yeah, see? It's catchy as fuck. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
To Isengard. Guard.
Whoa.
Hey.
No, it's Nicole.
Hey.
Here.
Alright, then we're going to start. Return of the King. Oh, more music. Lovely. I feel like it gets quieter every time. Anyways, our adventure, again, more movie scenes in this one. I just thought it was funnier. Anyways, our adventure begins looking back in time with Smeagol and his brother Chrysagal. They were out fishing, and Chrysagal hooked up a really big fish. The fish was so big, it took the Hobbit for a ride, and he went under the water pulling him. And that's when he found the ring underwater. When Chrysagal pulls it out of the water, Smeagol is weak to its powers, and it calls to him immediately, and he wants it badly, which causes the brothers to fight. Eventually, Smeagol kills his brother over it. Smeagol takes the ring and lives alone with the ring in the caves and mountains for years, eventually forgetting his own name. Back to present day. Smeagol, also known as Gollum in this case, is helping the two hobbits, Frodo Sang and Samwise Joey, to get to Mount Doom to destroy the Ring of Power. The battle for Helm's Deep is over, and the cool kids are riding their horses through the forest. Mary Bros and Pep and Goose are getting high after the Battle of Isengard. Mm-hmm. The cool kids, Gandalf, King Theo, Aragorn 1212, Legolas, Gimli, Rintoul, they show up and congratulate them for defeating Lord Saurmander. They find that Saurmander is trapped on top of his tower. And they find that Katrina Wormtongue is with him. Saurmander talks a bunch of bad shit about Katrina. It's like it's all her fault. Which makes her fucking mad, so she stabs him in the back. Legolas shoots her with the arrow because the cool kids wanted to interrogate Zaramander before he died. Anyways, now they both end up dying. The cool kids quickly ride back to Rohan to warn all of mankind in Middle-earth of the war against Sauron. There, the cool kids make a plan. Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, they stay with King Theoden and try to convince him to fight alongside of Gondor. Gandalf and Peppagoose will ride to Gondor to warn them Sauron's plans to destroy them first. Everyone is planning for a huge battle at Gondor's capital, Minas Tirith. Back in Elfland, Arwen is having wet dreams about having Aragorn's baby and fights with her father about going off to the Undying Lands. She doesn't want to. She manages to convince him to reforge Arathorn's old sword, which is Aragorn's dad, and to give Aragorn the sword of who is the true king of Gondor, to unite all men once again of Middle-earth. Gandalf and Peppagoose arrive in Minas Tirith, and they have to speak to Denethor, who's Boromir and Faramir's dad. He's like the acting king right now because Aragorn fucked off to be a ranger. Denethor is really pissed off that Boromir died. The last time Gandalf got them involved, Boromir died. He doesn't want to give up the throne to Aragorn as well, so should he return and want the king, he's just a grumpy old fucking man. Gandalf secretly sends off Peppagoose to light the beacons to call the aid of Rohan and other former alliances of men to help them in the war. So, back at the river city of Osgiliath, Faramir and his armies are still trying to defend the entry of evil armies into Gondor. That's where Frodo and Samwise was when they let him go. The orc armies slowly move in, trying a sneak attack from the river. Faramir only sees them coming at the last second. A battle on the river town ensues. Peppagoose climbs up to the top of Minas Tirith to light the beacon tower. Peppagoose manages to light the beacon without the guards noticing, even though they're right standing there. I don't know how. The line of beacons is stretched all across the way to Rohan to call for aid. So Rohan's armies is supposed to aid Gondor in this time of need. This pisses Denethor off. This is like the only picture I have of Graham, by the way. So,
Awesome.
James is video of him eating a tomato.
King Theoden sees the beacons have been lit and decides, fuck it, let's help them and send the armies to aid Gondor. But it was too late for the river city of Osgiliath, and Faramir and Gondor's men retreat to Minas Tirith. Nazgûl fly in to kill the remaining fleeing guys, including Faramir, but Gandalf protects them with this bright white light. They hate light. Faramir and a very few remaining men survive. The river city of Osgiliath was lost, and Gondor city of Minas Tirith remains. Peppagoose, for some reason, pledges his life to Gondor, King Denethor and Faramir. I think it's because he feels bad that Boromir died, and it was like, yeah. Anywho, Denethor was pissed off that Faramir let Osgiliath fall to the orc armies, and was pissed off to find that Faramir also let Frodo go, and he had the ring, the one chance to take the ring. He likes Boromir a lot more than Faramir. He sent Faramir and his army back to Osgiliath, completely outnumbered, and basically to a certain death. We flash back to King Theoden's army camp, and Elrond shows up randomly. He presents him the King's Sword, the true king of Gondor. Shit gets serious, and it's The Return of the King. The movie title.
Okay.
We said it.
Wait, so which one's the king, Craig or Damo?
Craig. He's the king, man. He's the true king of men, and not just Gondor, but all of men.
Yeah, with a nice spam hat on.
Dame was my father.
That's your crown.
Yeah,
He likes when I call him daddy.
Daddy Damo.
Rohan only finds about half the manpower they thought they would, but marches to Gondor anyways, completely outnumbered. King Theoden tells Mary Bros, "You're too small, bitch," to fight in the war, and leaves him behind. He's all sad. But Eowyn Stanley, she wants to fight and scoops him up and takes her on her horse to battle. Millions of evil armies advance on Minas Tirith, while Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli reach the Cave of Dead Men to call for aid. They go inside, and it doesn't seem so scary at first. Then, the king ghosts all appear out of nowhere, and Aragorn commands the dead to help. But the dead king says the only person you can stop them or to take orders from is King of Gondor. The king was shocked that the sword clashed with his blade. Only the sword of the true King of Gondor could do this. The king has returned.
Return of the King.
Return of the King. Said it again. King Aragorn again demanded the dead to fulfill their oath, and if they would help them, they would be set free forever. Before the king of the dead gives an answer, the ghosts disappear, and the cave starts to collapse, kind of like Indiana Jones style, and Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are forced to flee. When they get out of the cave, they see that the war is starting all over the lands of Middle-earth. The dead king comes out and says, "You know what? We will fight if you set us free." The armies and orcs and bad men, mercenaries arrive at the gates of Minas Tirith. Faramir is dragged in front of the gates with 2 arrows stuck in his chest before the orcs close in. The orcs start the attack and use catapults to breach the walls. They also shot heads of the dead Gondor soldiers over the walls. It is hardcore. Super hardcore. The war is on. Gondor fires back with some catapults of their own, hitting groups of orc. It looks like both sides were suffering equal blows. But up in the sky, Nazgul show up with their horrifying screams.
What do they sound like?
The Nazgul destroy catapults and manhandle Gondor soldiers. The giant orc towers reach the walls, allowing them to get up and over the walls.
Are you gonna do more sound effects?
I don't know. Maybe we'll get there.
He's had enough.
Nicole's
hiccups are good enough.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, maybe you should just hiccup. That's what Nazgul sound like. Okay. The hobbits reach the gates into Mordor, where armies upon armies of orcs are leaving and marching towards Gondor. Gollum comes up with a plan to get Frodo alone. In order to steal the ring back, he throws all their food off the cliff. Then he blames it on Joey's fat ass for eating it all, turning Joey and Frodo against each other. Frodo decides Samwise Joey must leave, and he chooses to continue with Gollum alone. Gollum leads him to this cave filled with webs. Inside the cave, Gollum disappears, and Frodo finds webs filled with dead animals and bodies and realizes he's in trouble. Sang is faced with a terrifyingly bad CGI spider. Frodo gets bit by an Aragog, Harry Potter reference, and paralyzed by its venom. He gets wrapped up in this delicious hobbit spring roll. Samwise Joey shows up at the last minute and says, "Let him go, you filth!" He doesn't kill Aragog, but manages to cut off a leg, which causes the spider to retreat and become a pussy. It appears it's too late. Frodo looks dead or hungover as fuck.
Good.
Goblin orcs come and recover Frodo's body. Samwise Joey hides. Back at Gondorland, acting King Denethor prepares to burn Faramir Beck after he had basically sent him to his death already. Peppengoose notices that Faramir is still alive and pleads for the king to not burn him, but Denethor drags him away and throws him out the front door. Peppengoose goes outside to find Gandalf and sees the city as being overrun and dying, losing the battle against the orcs. Suddenly, on the horizon, King Theoden, Eomer Stanley, and the Riders of Rohan arrive to give aid. Mary Bros and Eowyn Stanley still hide amongst them, and their armor is ready for battle. Meanwhile, Denethor pours some sort of accelerant all over himself and Faramir's body in a plan to commit suicide. Gandalf and Peppengoose burst down the door to stop him. But Denethor drops fire on himself anyways. What?
Ferguson presenting.
He's gonna go lay waste to these guys, in a different kind of way.
Denethor drops the fire on himself anyways. Gandalf knocks Denethor off the fire with his staff, and somehow Peppengoose, with his tiny body, is able to push Faramir out of the fire. Denethor, still on fire, runs out and jumps off the top of Minas Tirith. Back in the battle, the Riders of Rohan did a pretty good job defeating and pushing back the orcs, despite outnumbered hugely. They were about to
Star
enter
Wars
the city.
font.
Yeah,
It does look like Star Wars. Hey, it looks sweet.
But then these elephant riders from the Southland, human mercenaries, showed up to help the dark side. The elephants, the dark side of the Force. Nazgul also show up and fuck everyone up.
What did they sound like again?
I don't know, do your hiccup. One of them gets King Theoden, who's pinned under his horse. Eowyn steps in and cuts off the Nazgul's head. The King Witch guy gets really fucking pissed off and lays a beat down on Eowyn. No man can defeat me, he says. More mercenary pirate ships show up to help the bad guys. Everyone is dying, and it looks like all hope is lost. But then, in this movie, somehow Gimli, Legolas, and Aragorn jump out of a pirate ship looking all ready to fuck shit up. And then they magically are joined by all the ghosts of kings of man from the cave. Bros stabs the Witch King in the leg. Eowyn gets up and finishes him off and says, "I am no man, I'm a lady." The ghosts basically kill all the bad guys in less than a minute and then win the battle for all of men. Literally, they could have just got the ghosts the whole fucking time. King
How stupid
Theoden
this movie
dies.
was.
What?
I forgot how stupid this movie was.
Well, the stupid part is the ghosts just kill everybody in a minute. That's the stupid part. I mean, there was...
And then they just disappear.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
the
they're
fact that
free.
it's just, like,
They're set free. They're like, yeah, fuck it, we're good. But King
I thought the
Theoden
trees
dies, guys.
didn't-
Be sad for Jeff. He's dead. Okay? Look at him.
Oh.
Look at him.
Oh.
The end. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The hobbits, they took Frodo up into a tower. The venom was slowly wearing off from the spatter. Realizing we got to hurry up this movie, Samwise Joey just charges in the tower, saves Frodo with ease, and like it was like the quickest thing ever. I don't know. I'm sure in the books it was longer, but he just goes and saves Frodo in the tower. The armies march towards Mordor to empty the orc armies to clear a passage to Mount Doom for Frodo. Sorry, the armies march. All of men's armies march towards Mordor so that they can distract the enemy so that Frodo and Sam can get to Mount Doom to destroy the ring. Man is completely outnumbered, but they just have to buy enough time for Frodo to destroy the ring in the lava at Mount Doom. Frodo and Samwise struggle to reach Mount Doom. Samwise has to carry Frodo up the volcano. The hobbits reach the volcano, but Smeagol is waiting and bites the ring off Frodo's finger. A fight ensues over the ring. Smeagol finally gets the ring, but falls to a death in the lava. The ring is destroyed. The volcano then explodes, and it's all over. Samwise Joey and Frodo Sang saved the world. I don't know why I said that like Trump. Saved the world. The eye is destroyed, and the world opens up with erupting volcano sucking all the orcs back into the underworld. Frodo had saved mankind. Hey, mankind. The end. I'm just kidding. Gandalf and the giant fucking eagles come in and fly and save the hobbitses from the mountains, which apparently, according to physics, is not possible to have eagles this big. Sappy music plays, the good guys win, Frodo sang and Samwise Joy lived. The battle for Middle Earth was over. The end. Over. Everyone is rejoined at Gondor, and Aragorn 1212 is named the rightful king of Gondor. Happy endings all around. Aragorn 1212 marries Arwen the elf and rules Gondor for a long time. The end. Just kidding! Back at the Shire, Samwise Joey marries Nichol, the mean drunk and bartender in the Shire. They have 2 little hobbitses of their own. Frodo follows Bilbo's footsteps and writes a book and takes lots of pictures. Boromir comes back from the dead and has kids of their own as well. Pep and Goose and Mary Bros decided they were gay together all along. The end. No, just kidding. There's more fucking things. We don't want to end this thing. Gandalf, Frodo, and Bilbo are so fucking bored they have nothing bad happens anymore. The elves grant them passage to the Undying Lands. It's like elf heaven. Elrond, Paladriel, and this new elf dude, Celeborn, they see them off. Gandalf finds the love of his life and settles down with another wizard named Gandalfa. And that's the end. Right?
I love that.
I think that's the end. That's the end. Yay!
Good job, Joey.
There we go.
Amazing.
Good job, Joey.
Here we go.
That
The
was
3 trilogies.
Oh.
Beautiful.